Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the She Got Lucky podcast. If this is your first time listening, well, what a pleasure it is. My name is Alicia Mafadia. I am the host, and we do this really beautiful thing here on the podcast where we go beyond what people see to be luck. Because when something seems so easy for someone else, and perhaps you've tried and it hasn't appeared to be that easy, it's so easy for others, especially when it comes to women, to really just call it luck, just call it good timing, right place, right time, where it takes so much more than that. And in this podcast, we go beyond what you see. We go beyond the highlight feed. We go beyond, oh, look what just happened. And we allow you to see what really goes on, the shifts, the strategy, the experiences that maybe don't always appear on the highlight feed. Now, you will find some episodes you've got myself, some episodes you have the best of the best, the creme de la creme of the industry I get here on the podcast. And today is absolutely no different. We have got the incredible Rayna Campbell coming in all the way from LA. Rayna Campbell is the go-to mentor for high-achieving entrepreneurs, creatives, and industry disruptors who refuse to play by the rules. Known for her bold, no BS approach, she helps business owners scale fast by rewiring their subconscious identity. Because success isn't about doing more, it's about becoming the version of you who naturally attracts everything you desire. With over 13 years of experience and deep mastery in rapid rewiring techniques, energetics, and metaphysics, Rayna has coached multi-6, 7, and 8-figure CEOs, showing them how to collapse timelines, command wealth, and create effortless success without the grind. Her signature coaching style? Unfiltered, illuminating, designed to shake you out of your limitations and into the quantum leap you've been craving. Whether through her rapid rewiring audios, exclusive membership, The Wealth Vault, her limitless wealth identity experience, or high-level private coaching, Rayna delivers transformational shifts that make scaling feel inevitable. Her philosophy is simple. When you upgrade your identity, the money, the clients, the business growth, it all follows. Now, today's episode with Rayna, we actually filmed the episode first. It was an early slot because she's on the other side of the world. So I'm recording this after the episode, and I can absolutely tell you right now that this episode you're going to want to not just listen to, but you're going to want to save. And you're about to see why. You're about to hear why. Oh, yeah. Oh, all right.
I love you.
What a freaking special moment, day, wherever you are listening right now. Get yourselves ready because we have the incredible Rayna in the house. Rayna,
Alicia.
welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I feel like I'm in Australia with you. I mean, I'd like to think I am. I've always wanted to go. I am going. I'm manifesting. I'm putting it out there. This will have to do for now.
Yep. And I'm working on both sides. Spoke to your husband last year at Freedom Queen Live about how great it is.
Oh my gosh.
We'll get you here. No problems. Maybe
Yes.
an event here. I think that's good. Rapid rewiring in
yes,
Australia.
we should. Why not?
So, Rayna, look, before seeing you speak, before meeting you at Freedom Queen Live, I was like, who is this extraordinary human, right? So I had the absolute pleasure of witnessing you. And I can truly say that I have never experienced anyone like you. It wasn't just listening to your speech, your presentation. It was an experience. And I really like bringing you on the podcast today. This is just going to be absolutely insane. To begin, right? I think the first few minutes of every podcast is me saying how great our guests are because they're great. I only get good guests on the podcast, right?
Like
Good.
attracts like.
Yeah, good guests, extraordinary guests, right?
Extraordinary.
But Rayna, do you have a She Got Lucky story that we can kick this off with? Get to know you a little bit more and a bit of your journey.
You know what, Alicia? I was going to tell one story, and it was going to be the story of my current business, this rapid rewiring business. But as you were talking to me just before we started, another pivotal moment came to mind, and that's what I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
So I'm also an actress. I left drama school. I went to drama school in New York, and I had dreams of being a movie star. I wanted to be in a feature film. And some of the things that I was told, you are too dark to be the lead role. Not everyone gets to make it. You have the wrong agent, all kinds of stories. Okay. And somewhere I absorbed that information, and I would audition, and not get anywhere. I had the thought, but I know that I'm really talented. I used to blow it up at drama school. Like, I can do this. I would go and watch movies and think I can do that. I mean, doesn't every actress?
Yeah.
And so for 6 years, nothing. I would audition. And also the fact that I had agents that weren't able to even get me the kind of roles that I wanted. It was always like the guest role or a few lines here or a few lines there. This took a dent in my confidence. And having a dent in my confidence meant that work was a struggle. And eventually I had to end up moving back to my parents' home. And I remember praying to God and saying, listen, I spent years at drama school. What is this all about? If I'm not meant to be an actress, just let me know. And then I happened upon a lady who taught me rapid rewiring. And she showed me, is that proper English? Anyway, she showed me that my beliefs and my thoughts and even my nervous system were preventing me from creating the career that I wanted. So this was hard to digest at first because my logical mind says, you just have to be talented. You just have to be in the right place at the right time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or you can't control this. This industry isn't based on, it's not a 9 to 5 where you work your way up. It's like if they choose you. Yeah. But she was like, no, your thoughts, your points of view, your beliefs, your expectations all create your reality. So I worked with her on my belief system for 8 months. Then my agent sends me through a script for the lead role in a movie. She said, this is filming in South Africa and Europe for 6 months. And then they are hoping to put this into the Berlin Film Festival. So this is like a really, really good opportunity. But you're up against, and she named a couple of A-listers. But because I had been working on my mindset, my identity, rapidly rewiring who I was, competition didn't mean anything. It was like, what's the reality I choose? Anyway, I worked on this audition. I had to fly out for a chemistry test. And to cut a long story short, I booked the role. I know it was because of who I became in the process. And some people might say, no, girl, you just got lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And can you explain, you said that you got flown out for a chemistry test. What's a chemistry test?
I knew you'd ask that because you're quite naughty, aren't you? So
hey, I'm watching Married at First Sight at the moment, and everything's about chemistry and the spark and intimacy. And
so they whittle it down to 3 actresses, and then they had already picked the co-star. So he was going to be starring opposite the actress that they picked. Yep. So they need to see, because this couple in the film end up as lovers, what their connection is like and how it looks on screen. So when they put us together on screen, do the audience buy that these two are in love and that they could be attracted to each other? And so what happens is you go meet the actor and then they say, just hang out, just talk, and then go into the dialogue and we'll film it and we'll see what happens. And so it's just this chemistry test to see if you blow up and spark off on camera. That's what a
Gotcha.
chemistry test
And then
is.
that actor turned out to be your husband, and no. No. Okay, so I absolutely love that, and whilst Rayna explained, this was her first experience with what she teaches now, what she helps others with now, rapid rewiring. At the time, what did you know it as? What were you learning it as? What were you thinking? This is what I'm working on. Yeah,
Consciousness and energy healing,
yeah,
and mindset.
yeah. Gotcha. Okay, so that was that experience. How did you go from acting to where you are now, which is rapid rewiring master?
So what happened is when you choose to work on your personal development, your mindset, whatever modality you choose, if you're consistent, you build up this energy of momentum, and then it reaches a tipping point, and then your life changes and your reality changes. So I was experiencing this amazing lifestyle. Now I'm flying here and people are asking me to talk and I'm doing all kinds of things. And it was like my dream came true. But a part of my body was also resisting this success as well. And so eventually I sort of created limitation again. And I realized and recognized I'm coming up against a lot more obstacles and I'm stuck and my mindset isn't there. And that's because I thought, oh, I'm good now. I don't have to do this work every day.
Yes.
And so I then go back into my old reality and I realize, no, this is something you have to always be working on. You always have to be developing yourself as well as your craft, as well as your business, as well as whatever it is you choose. And so the lady who was teaching me and mentoring me stopped doing this. And I was like, what? So I started looking for other people who might be able to do it. And no one was as fire as her. Nobody. So I was like, what if I could be that for myself? So I would write a checklist. Like every day I must do this, 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 and this to keep myself going. But I wasn't very good at keeping promises to myself. So I said, I know a way to keep myself accountable. Yeah. I'm going to go online and just say for the next 21 days, I'm going to be doing this. And this is why I'm going to be doing it and who's in. And so about 20 other actors and artists jumped in with me. And I thought, I got to do it now. I'm committed. Yes. And that's how it started, really. I started it by needing to be accountable, keep myself consistent, but help other people as well. And then they started getting results. And then I was like, oh, I might be onto something here.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So let's talk about rapid rewiring. A few months ago, and I know this is the power, like I love being able to allow, if you're listening, at the event that Rayna and I met at last year, Freedom Queen
Tell
Live.
the truth, Alicia. Tell them how you are responsible.
That's not what I was going to say.
How you are responsible for this, for creating this beast.
So we had being at this event together, about 10 of us, I think, got in a room and we just were masterminding like wild. And, all of these incredible minds working on, we were going through one business, one person at a time. And it was just freaking incredible. And so to be able to share a little bit with you today, like when we were talking to Rayna, because we'd just experienced her presentation and all of us were like, that was like one of those moments where the DNA in our bodies, everything changed. And I was like, where the heck? Like, where have you been hiding? Like, what was that? And what Rayna does is not manifestation. Like, if I hear anyone say that, or if I hear Rayna say anything about that, I'll be like, no, it is absolutely not. It is literally rewiring the way your brain thinks, the patterns you believe. And I just can't even Rayna, can you take us through re bleh,
I know.
take over because Alicia's language is stopping.
I don't know what it is with the R's. My speech and teacher at drama school used to be like, you need to work on your R's. And I was like, can't even say my own name sometimes.
Rapid
rewiring.
Rapid rewiring. Yep, we're good. Don't say that too many times in a row.
All right. So your beliefs, your expectations, and your point of view create your reality.
Yeah.
So if I have the belief, I want to get more clients and I want to make more sales, but it's hard. It's a struggle. The algorithm's against me. I'm checking my Stripe account, my PayPal account, and I'm like, let's see if anyone bought. Then there's no power there. It's based on, I hope something shifts and I hope what I've done is enough. And so I'm giving my power away. I'm waiting to see what happens. If I shift my beliefs and my expectations, and it's like when I open my PayPal and Stripe, money's in there. I make sales. That's who I am. There's a power there. Okay. And so I'm going to create a different reality, more so than the one who's hoping. Even if I open my PayPal and Stripe and there's no money, my belief and my expectation is I make sales. That's going to shift quickly because it's like I ignore what the 3D showing me and I create what is not yet created by my beliefs. That's how the law works. So when we do rapid rewiring, we are showing people your thoughts and beliefs and expectations. You're choosing them consciously and subconsciously all day based on your past, based on experiences, based on what other people are choosing, based on how you've been programmed and patterned. And I'm going to take you back to the point of creation. We don't need to regurgitate it. We just need to change the point of creation. So you make a new change. So I'll give you an example. I had a client who came to me, he's called Kalen, and he said, I'm doing 10K months, but I would like to do more money than that. I believe I can. I'm doing everything like, selling, doing all the right things, but I'm not able to pass 10K. So I asked him a question. What is significant about making more than $10,000? Why did I ask him this question? Because I want to know what's creating the separation from him and making more money. So people have points of view about what more money means. So if I say to you, Alicia, do you have $1 you could lend me? You'd be like, yeah. Like, it doesn't mean anything. If I go, Alicia, do you have $1 million you can lend me? You'd be like, girl. There's more weight on $1 million. $1 million now means a lot of things. And so we give meaning to different amounts of money. And whatever meaning we give to the money is how much separation we create. So when I take this client and say, what if making more than $10,000 doesn't mean anything? This guy blew up in a few days to start making 20K months, was in the international press, and just messaged me the other day saying, I went into Gucci to buy a crossbody bag and ended up, someone ordered 3,000 hoodies from me. I'm like calculating 3,000 times. Why did that happen? Is it because he got lucky? No, his perception and his expectation and beliefs is like money. What money? Lots of money doesn't mean anything.
Yep. Far out. And I think what you just said though is really interesting because I was listening to one of my mentors the other day, and she was talking about, people often say, like, you need to spend money to make money, blah, 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 right? Like, just because you're going to go spend $1,000, just because you're going to spend, $50,000 on a coach doesn't mean anything, right? Like, I don't think that saying works. But she explained it in a way that I was like, yes, that's it. And she connected in a way that I was like, yes, I lived this, I experienced this. And you think back to perhaps you worked with a mentor, the first time you worked with a mentor, and you're like, okay, this is, and like thinking back to my first mentor, I think she was maybe 3,000 Australian dollars a month, right? First mentor. And I had people around me being like, no, you don't need to be spending that, like, XYZ. And for me, I was like, frick me, like, this is a lot of money. And once I started, putting that forward, I detached the energy from like, oh my gosh. And then when I then went on to work with my next mentor, which was a few years later, it was a huge amount. It was for a year, it was 6 figures. And every part of me was like, what the fuck? Like, what? Every part of me. And what's wild though is like, I'm not saying you lose sight of the value and you're like, here you go. Like, I'm still very intentional with where I invest, but the power I gave to this amount of money has so shifted to the point where if I looked back now and that first mentor, I'm like, what the frick? Like, that was nothing. Again, I'm not saying that $3,000 doesn't, like, here you go, let's just drop it on the ground. I don't care. I still value money and the power, what it can do. But the power I've given it from myself has definitely changed. And it was only because the fear I gave to money, and that was like, oh, I can't invest that amount. That's so much. When I did it, it lost that power. And that's what I really, really love. And I find that even the experience of investing past what you feel comfortable, in a sense, right? Like you need the money you need to live, breathe. I'm not saying like screw it, take the money off your mortgage and just go. That's how you become a bajillionaire. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like that fear that you give to money when you can take it back and own it. That experience, even investing in that mentor, was a lesson before I'd even started working with her because of that.
Yes, exactly. And often the only thing keeping people from making more money is the power that they give to the amount, is the story, the feeling. Even the body will react to money without them even realizing it. So there's a lot of constructs and a lot of resistance that people create when it comes to making more money. And often I get clients who say to me, but I've done money mindset work and I've done a lot of inner work. And, this story's about when I was 7 and we were told no a lot. And so I've been doing that, but it's still not affected my income. And I'm like, because now we get to a place, you know all the mindset stuff and the exercises to do, but it comes down to choice. And it comes down to allowing that nervous system to calibrate so that it normalizes having and holding money. And in order for it to do that, you're going to have to get uncomfortable and be okay with it being uncomfortable until it's like, okay, I live here now. This is fine. Like you said, it's like once it used to feel like a big amount and now it's normal. And it's not because you don't have respect for the money or other people's money. It's like, it's just, I've taken the meaning away from it. Judgment creates separation, and people are doing judgment all day. So again, in rapid rewiring, it's like taking people out of judgment so that they see everything as nothing. And nothing is everything. That's the consciousness part of this.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm going to need you to repeat that again.
The brain is like, what did I say? So judgment creates separation. That's what people have been taught to judge all day, everything. I'm going to judge you. I'm going to judge myself. I'm going to judge what this money means. I'm going to judge this, judge that. That creates separation, right? Because if we're judging, we're not being the energy and the consciousness of everything is together. So when we get out of judgment of everything and everyone, even ourselves, we're just space. We can create so many infinite possibilities.
Yeah.
So if I have no judgment about you, if I have no judgment about myself, I'm not going to be saying, oh, I'm not good enough. I don't deserve that. Should I take this money? This person wants to pay me that. Like, I'm not, it's nothing. It doesn't mean anything. If I have no judgment around money, I can create as much money as I want to. But people have judgment. So in rapid rewiring, I'm always taking them out of judgment and saying, what if everything is nothing?
Yeah.
And they're like, huh? What? And the body resists that. The body goes, oh, but no, I can't accept that because I have stories about it. Stories
you
I
said
want.
it. I was like,
Yeah.
nah.
Yeah. Stories I want to hold on to because these
Yeah.
stories are meaningful and these stories have created the reality. And I'm like, but do you like this reality? Is this reality working for you? And they're like, no. And I'm like, so why don't you want to let it go? Huh? They're like, so that's why sometimes people will do my work and they're like, I feel like I want to throw up. And I'm like, yeah, that's a normal reaction. Not everyone throws up.
And right there and then is why you should work with Rayna, because you're gonna want to throw up. How lovely! You're welcome. Thank you. Goodbye. Done. Okay. Yes. And I think as well, Rayna, like, because we have so many stories that we pick up through our childhood, whether it be from teachers, whether it be from family members, you know, I once had it sort of visually explained and I was like, this is so good. And it's like when you're born, you've got nothing on your walls. It's like a blank room. And as you're growing up, people put on wallpapers, people put on this, people put on that, and it starts to shape the way your room looks. And that, in a sense, is your mind. And so many of the things that are holding us back, we don't even realize because it's been there the whole time. Why would we question it? Why would we? So rapid rewiring is obviously you go much further than just, you know, the money beliefs. So if someone came to work with you, right, and they were a business owner, and yes, money was definitely a component of it, but as well, they definitely had, you know, they don't like to say it, but they still compare themselves. They're still quite, you know, they're supportive of other women, but are they as supportive of other women as they are themselves? No. They're still hard on themselves. You know, when they have a day when they might not have got what they wanted to done, they're still hard on themselves. When they film something, oh, well, that still could have been better. They're still hard on themselves. So where would you start with that? I would say recovering perfectionist. The recovering perfectionist, the person who once was such a big people pleaser, but not so much. I feel like so many of the women I speak to are in this category. Where would you begin with them?
Who's not in that category? Who is not in that category? It is like such a symptom of the world we live in, you know, and I think society really plays a big role in that, you know, the images that come at you from everywhere, and you get merit and praise if you've done this and achieved this by this age, and it gets worse and worse and worse. It's like, it's even started like, obviously I had a baby a few months ago, and so I get a lot of baby things that come up on my social media feed, and it'll be like, my 1 month-year-old is walking and talking, and you're like, oh, already? What? So you grow up like, you know, this has to be better. I have to be better. I want to stand out. This person achieved that. So it's all subconscious. But again, it's like getting out of judgment, because we're always attracted to the people who are the most confident, the most sort of like they don't care.
Yeah.
And to get to that state, you have to get out of judgment of who you be. And so it's like, what if everything I'm creating doesn't mean anything? What if the goals that I'm going after don't mean anything about me? What if I stop putting my worth on a dollar amount in that my bank account has, or how many strike notifications I can put out on my social media? What if I get out of judgment of all of that, and it's just about who I be, the energy? And sometimes when clients have that, they go, I'm trying to do this, but I just feel like it's not good enough. I go, have you ever had a client who has said to you, I would love to work with you, but can I see your bank account balance first? And if it's to my liking, then we'll work together. And I'm like, never. They just go, I love your energy. I love what you did made sense. And so what if you could step into more of, I'm here to transform the world, and I do it by this thing, teaching people how to do this, showing people how to do this, entertaining them, and that's what it is, then all of that other stuff becomes so insignificant, because it's like, who cares about the money? I just helped someone do this today and it was so freaking exciting. I'm going to get ice cream and eat it. We don't need to compare, because it's like, I love what you do. It's absolutely amazing. And I love what you do. And some people go, yeah, but she's doing the same thing as me. It's like, but she's not. Even if you think it is, it's like coming from two different perspectives, because, oh my God, the way you explained it, suddenly I got it. I've been doing 50 million courses and I never got it, but I got it from you, because you were being you. And I was like, yes, I relate. So all the meanings and all the, I'm supposed to be this and I want to do this. What if it just disintegrates and it's like, I just like having fun?
So, and I really love this. And I think that obviously doing the rapid rewiring, which, P.S., can we give a little bit of like an example of what rapid, like, I'm a bit nervous even to ask, because like,
she don't know what she okay, girl.
Can we, like, because when you witness it, it's like, what the heck?
So we'll stick to this comparison thing. Okay. Is that what you want to do?
No, I don't want to do anything.
Well, you have to be the guinea pig.
Oh, Jesus, this is really getting out.
Well, this is one, like, because a lot of people have this, they're brilliant and they're bold, but they use comparison to slow themselves down. So sometimes people have the point of view, I'm looking at someone who's killing it in my industry, whatever that industry is. Yeah. So I would say, truth, what are you making their success mean about you that isn't even real? And exhale. So when I ask these questions are energetic questions which bring up an energy or a thought or an awareness or a feeling. And then we exhale to release what we've made it mean and allow the nervous system to just calibrate to this new thought. So sometimes it's like, this person's doing well. They made this much money in this amount of time and I'm still trying to get there. So therefore they're more successful than me. So what I'm doing is I'm devaluing myself and focusing on them. How am I building an empire if I'm so focused on what they're doing? That's nothing to do with me. It's not even real. Exhale. So what are you making their success mean about you? And why have you decided their success has anything to do? Sorry, relax. Exhale. What if there is no I'm behind? Everyone's going past me. What if it's just a game of limitation you're choosing just for fun? Exhale. So sometimes what people do is they're so powerful and so potent and they're so nice that they want everyone else to feel safe and secure and nice around them. I don't want to upset anyone. I want to be seen as good. I want kumbaya, everybody. And so they create limitations. They don't realize they're doing it, but they slow themselves down so that we all come up together. And so sometimes you just choose that for fun instead of rocketing ahead. Because sometimes people say, I don't know if what I'm doing is working. And it's like, what if you're just not choosing it with full body certainty? Yes. What if you're going, but I put the post out and it didn't get that many likes? Or how come I drop that and there's no sales? And so you keep looking for what's going wrong instead of going, I'm using full body certainty to create my reality. And so what if this limitation I'm experiencing is one where I haven't been going full steam ahead with full body certainty, and I've just been choosing this limitation to keep everyone happy? Exhale. And who or what are you using as the reference for the success of your business? Who or what are you using as a reference for the success of your business? What the industry's saying, what the economy's doing, what she's doing? What if you're the reference? What if it's like, I dominate, it's about me. Here we go. I'm glad you're doing that and I'm glad you're powering ahead. But this is my empire and this is what I get to create. And relax. So all it is shifting people's points of view. So they go, why am I choosing that insanity? That's a crazy thing for me to do. Let me choose something different. And setting themselves free. What if your past results, and everywhere you think, man, I'm not getting what I want. Man, I wish I could make that much money and I could have that many sales. What if it is nothing to do with what you can create now? So what, because a lot of people use their past to determine what's possible. What if they let go of the past, let go of the evidence, and choose, I'm an infinite creator. I can actually choose anything. I can choose to be successful now. Let it go. And if you stop defining yourself based on your past and define yourself on the future that's possible. So it doesn't matter what I did, what I didn't do, what I haven't done yet, what's possible for me to choose now if I go in with full body certainty. How's that? How does your body feel? Sometimes when I'm doing this work, Alicia, people go, what did you say, Rayna? I didn't hear you. I spaced out. And I'm like, yeah. Or they're like, I'm tired now. Or they start yawning, or their mind starts going off. So they didn't hear the next question. If you started seeing yourself as the most valuable investment in your audience, what would that change for you? So sometimes people in the online space, they go, oh, but she's talking about strategy. She's talking about somatics. She's talking about funnels. And I can see everyone gravitating to them. So is what I'm doing as meaningful? But what if what you're doing is the most valuable investment they can make? Because it's like, actually, no, if you do this, you get that. But because you're not choosing it, because you're deciding that is the most valuable investment, you disable your power potency and your sales. What if what you're doing is the most valuable investment they can make? And what if the only reason sales are slow and clients aren't coming in like an avalanche is because they're waiting for you? They're waiting for you to step all the way up with full body confidence and lead them into something bigger. They're waiting. They are there. What if some people go, my audience is slow. They don't want to spend a lot of money where I live. And it's like, no, they are waiting for you. They're literally just waiting for you to say, I'm ready now. This is what we're doing and this is where we're going. You know, it's funny. People do this as well. I think I do it as well when I'm doing the rapid rewiring, because it's the body is going, okay, yeah, this, I can wear this. I can wear this new belief.
I think it's so impressive that one, you're able to do that without me saying anything. Because when you're like, okay, Alicia, you're the guinea pig, and I was like,
you know what as well though. Sometimes I'll just go, okay, I'm just gonna jump into their body and see what's going on in here.
yeah,
Read their energy.
yeah.
Or in this case, like, what does the audience want to know? So because time is a man-made construct, it's like, what does the audience who's listening to this podcast right now, who have online businesses, what would be valuable for them?
Yeah.
I can jump into them all and go, okay, we'll take that information and create these questions.
And that was just like, there was just so many moments. And, you know, if you haven't already, save this episode. Save the podcast. Save the podcast. Be sure to be following the podcast.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll put all the details for Rayna in the show notes. But right there and then, that was incredible. There were so many moments, and the breathe out, let it go. Like, I remember when you were doing it on stage, and I was like, what's she doing? And, you know, but just doing it really does, because I think that so many people have tried therapy, and so many people have, and yeah. And I am one. I've done many counselors, I've done psychologists, and just talking about the problem constantly, I just ended up feeling so much worse every single time. And I
Yeah.
know I'm not alone. There's so many people who are like, no, I'm not doing therapy because that was the feeling consistently.
Yeah.
And so it was only really when I found my hypnotherapist that I learned that there was different ways of doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the reasons why, as soon as this idea of rapid rewiring, it's like we understand that the more you believe something, that like the brain connects this pathway. And over time, if you sort of you let go of it, that pathway can become weak, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so rapid rewiring is about rewiring those pathways in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so I freaking love this because it's such a powerful way, especially for business owners. If you're listening right now, this is such a powerful way to be able to build up yourself, but as well build up, right, your business by working on the stuff that's going in your mind that is holding you back and you don't realize it. We know mindset work is important, but this sort of mindset work with Rayna is just freaking revolutionary. And I'm so grateful that we got to have you on the podcast and share that, Rayna. So I want to finish, Rayna, the episode with, and I prepped you. I was like, I'm going to say this, but I'm actually going to just throw you a bit of a curveball because you're welcome.
Wow. Wow, Alicia. That's the thanks you
You're
get.
welcome. Okay, but I would love to know a moment from where you're standing now, a moment in your journey that would tested you pretty much to breaking points, right? And because you stepped through it, you worked through it, you're so much stronger now. But it's perhaps a moment in your journey that you haven't spoken about a lot. And the power of this lesson, the power of that experience that you might be able to share with us could be exactly what someone listening right now might need to hear.
Yes. Okay, so so I recently had a baby and it took me 12 years. And I could get pregnant so easily, but I would always lose the pregnancies. So after 12 years and 6 rounds of IVF and so many miscarriages, finally I get pregnant. And I get pregnant at the point where my business is blowing up like it's popping off. But I have a terrible pregnancy. Like I'm suffering from hyperemesis and all kinds of crazy things. And I was so debilitated. And so I had no choice but to slow down. I couldn't even look at my phone. People were like, why can't you listen to podcasts? I was like, even listening to things, I'm so ill that I
Yeah.
can't take anything in. My body is just like, just be. And I'm not the best sick person when I'm sick. I'm like the biggest baby. So I watched my business slowly just like a deflated balloon. And I was so upset because I was like, I've invested so much money. I've invested so much time. I thought I had prepared for, the first trimester, but this is like the whole pregnancy.
Yeah.
And I was not okay at the time with saying I was, speeding ahead. I was doing well. Everything was blowing up. And by the time I had the baby, I think the following month, I did a 2K month, Alicia, and I was not okay. I was like, how can I have been in a space where I was like, I started my business January 2023. By August, we're doing like 30K months, how can this be like 2K? And I had a lot of shame. Here I am teaching people money and manifestation. And so I started to go, I can't do that anymore because look how can I do that if I'm not creating that? I'm a fraud. I'm an imposter. They're not going to respect me. So what I was doing was saying, I'm judging myself based on the results and the validation I think people need in order to choose me. So then I started creating my business based on what can I do to impress them? What can I do to prove to them that I am worthy? Because I don't believe I'm worthy right now. This created such a discord and a disconnect in my business. So I felt like I was trying to climb up a slippery slope and it didn't work. The shift that came was when I decided or zoomed out and I went, look what I'm doing. I'm literally doing what I'm teaching people to do. I'm judging myself. I'm creating separation. I'm saying until I get results, I can't step into my business with full body certainty. When I know it's the other way around, I have to step in with full body certainty. Forget the results. Forget what I'm making every month. Forget this disaster. What is the transformation I can lead people into? What can I do for people? And that is nothing to do with how much is in my bank account or whether I had sleep for the past 3 days or how I feel. What do I know I can do with my eyes closed? And it is transform people's lives. And then when I got back into that and I said, what if it's about my energy? What if it's about me believing and having the most fun? Then the following month I did 11K and I was like, okay, here we go again. And then my business started blowing back up again. So I tell that story because it's when we forget that we're always powerful and potent, and it doesn't matter if she's shown you, this is how much I made, and look at how many people are saying yes. Because if we are like, until I have that, I can't be powerful and potent, then you just keep yourself back. But if we go, no, forgetting all of that, why are people going to choose me? Are they choosing me because of what I've shown you or what I can do for you?
Love it. I love it. And I think as well, I think that when you're coming out of that place and you're sort of trying to constantly prove yourself, you're also constantly looking for someone who can fix you and fix that problem. And whilst there's always work you can do, I feel like it's the shiny object syndrome where you're like, okay, but she can do this with her client. And so that way, like I can fix this by doing that work with her. Oh,
and yes, that's another thing I did. I think I spent $30,000 in a space of 5 months working with these 7-8 figure mentors who were like, come do this private session, come do this course, this is what you need. And then they were like, because I get my clients results, and I wasn't getting the results because it wasn't that. It was like, it's not what you do, it's who you be, and you're not choosing to be that potency right now. So keep spending the money, girl.
Yeah. Rayna, you are absolutely extraordinary. What a
So
human you
are you.
are. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so where do we come find you? Where do we get to do this incredible rapid rewiring work with you?
The easiest place to find me is on Instagram. And I'm looking because I've got mother brain, baby brain.
Gosh.
Like, what's my name? I know, so bad. My Instagram is Rayna Campbell _business. Rayna Campbell _business. And it's RAYNACAM for mother, PBELL _business. Instagram is the best place.
Done. All right, we'll put that below for you. Go and check Rayna out. And as I said, be sure to save this episode because there's just so much in it that you can just listen to, you can tap into. I appreciate you opening up and sharing that story, Rayna, because, you know, regardless whether it's you know, you've had a baby yourself, you've experienced that yourself, there was just so much in it that I think that we can really connect to and learn from. And I just so appreciate you being here and sharing so much of your magic with us in this episode.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was the best. It was the best. We spoke, we realized half an hour after chatting beforehand, oh yeah, we're here for a podcast. But it was absolutely brilliant. So go and check Rayna out, and Rayna, we'll chat to you soon.
Yay! Thank you.